EA, let's take a look at the Jets wide receivers. And when you think about the top storyline of this group, it has to be the departure of Sam Darnold's number one target over the past couple of years, and Robbie Anderson, now a Carolina Panther.
Big time vertical threat for the New York Jets. Robbie Anderson, he signed with his former collegiate coach, Matt Rule, in Carolina. So much like the offensive line, the wide receiver group is going to be a revamped position in 2020, and Joe Douglas addressed it both in free agency and then in the draft.
And when you think about a battle to watch in this unit, you know Jamison Crowder has the slot handled, so it's really a question on the outside because Joe Douglas, to your point, has brought in so many players, but we have no idea who's going to line up where.
Well, Robbie Anderson was a lanky guy at 6'3", 190, and like we talked about, a burner on the outside. He had 52 catches last year for 779 yards receiving with 5 touchdowns. But Brashad Perryman is a former first-round pick himself. Joe Douglas, in fact, helped scout him with the Baltimore Ravens. And Perryman, 6'2", 215 pounds, bigger than Anderson, and also a sub-4.4 guy. Had an excellent last part of the season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year and finished with 36 receptions for 645 yards and 6 touchdowns. And then across from him, you got to figure that Denzel Mims is going to be right in the mix to contribute to this team immediately. 6'3", 207 pounds. He got the ball in the end zone for the Baylor Bears. 8 touchdowns, and 12 touchdowns receiving in the last 3 collegiate years of his career. Other guys in the mix figure to be Vincent Smith, interesting size-speed combination as well, and Josh Doctson, a former first-round pick who had a couple of productive years with the Washington Redskins.
So given all the names that you just said, if I were to ask you one player in this position group that you think has the potential to break through in training camp, who are you choosing?
Well, let's look down the depth chart at a couple of undrafted free agents. I think a lot of people talked about Lawrence Cager, and rightfully so. He's a kid who started his collegiate career at Miami, transferred over to Georgia, really had a good connection with Jake Fromm. He became Georgia's number 1 target on the outside. But don't forget about this name, George Campbell, out of West Virginia, another guy who fits that prototypical size-speed ratio that you're looking for. 6'4", sub-4.4 speed, and he averaged nearly 25 yards of reception last season. Remember, when guys are battling to make the team, it's not only what they can contribute on offense and defense, but what are they going to bring to the table on special teams?
All right, there you have it, the wide receiver preview before we hit training camp here. And next up, EA and I are talking about the edge rushers.